We are going to speak to basic user interface. I have a lot of users, in this course with a lot of different capabilities and understanding of the software. So I want to make sure we have a good foundation today. So as we start to move forward next week, we are familiar with where these items are located and what we're looking for. So we're going to talk about the FZ3 icon up here in the top left corner. There's a lot that can be done in this particular icon. So a couple of things to be said first. Anytime you see this little triangle in the corner, just means there's multiple options under there. And so once I hit the FZ3, I get several options here as well. Faro Zone is set up for you to do things in many different ways. And virtually everything in here is customizable. So if you are an icon person, meaning I'm familiar with Microsoft Office products, Microsoft Word, I know that this is the icon for a new scene, you can go ahead and tap the icon. If you are a Word person, you can come here and look for the word that says new. Or if you're a keyboard shortcut person, you can type FN on your keyboard and that will start a new project. So that's 3 different ways here to start a new project, not including from the start page. So you're going to see that a lot in this software. There's multiple ways to do the exact same thing or to accomplish the exact same thing, I should say. So from this FZ3 up here, we have our basic functions that you would see in any Word doc, as well as our save functions. So when it comes to the assignments, nothing's going to be due today because we're really not doing a whole lot with our data today. When it comes to the assignments, this is how you're going to save anything that we need saved as a .far or a Faro Zone file. So you're just going to come in here or use the icons up here. Down here, this is how you can print. So we will speak a little bit to printing, especially as it comes to trajectory reports. So we will talk to that as well in a few weeks. At the bottom, you can access the start page again, or you can hit F4 on your keyboard. And then I want to speak to preferences. So I'm going to go ahead and click on preferences. I always get the question, my screen does not look like your screen. My icons are currently the biggest that they can be so that everyone can see them. But also we found that people just like this gray and yellow contrast virtually better than any of the other presets. So I want to talk to some of the preferences that I want to make sure that we take note of or make some changes to before we start any of our diagramming. So from the general preferences here, if I scroll down a little bit, this is where you're going to see where all of your projects are saving to, where the auto saving in backups. I will point out, because I noticed this in Russ's class, there are some law enforcement agencies that their IT is set up such that they are using a network drive and they are trying to create videos in the Faro Zone software and they are not able to do it. And more often than not, it's because that network drive doesn't allow photos and doesn't allow videos. Currently in the software, there is no way to default that to a different drive. However, I have made R&D aware of it and they are going to put that out in a patch in the near future. You can choose the location to save many things in here. Unfortunately, that's just one of them that you cannot for now. That will change. So when we get into creating fly-through videos, if you find that it's just not working for you, it may just be a network drive issue. If you are used to using scene navigation mode, or if you are new to 3D navigation, I highly suggest you check the box that says scene navigation mode by default. As soon as we get in here and that pops up, I am going to show you what that means and how that works. That will help you immensely as it comes to navigation. If I'm being honest, in full transparency, people love the scanner, they love the software. The thing they get frustrated about the most is navigation, feeling like the computer's not doing it what they want it to do. Navigation in 3D takes some practice, so be patient with yourself with it. But this little checkbox will help a lot. Over on the left-hand side under general, we're going to speak about display here real quickly. So ribbon style. If you're the type of person that when I say choose this grip that's this color, you probably just want to make sure that yours are consistent with mine so there's no confusion. I currently have it in El Dorado, but as you can see, I can change these all to these presets. So if yours looks different than mine, you are probably just in a different ribbon style. For a UI scale, as like I said before, I'm using extra large just so it's easier for everyone to see here. But if you don't like the way that looks on your screen, you can go ahead and change the size. We are going to set our VR and environment, so our background. We're just not going to do it from this particular tab. But this is where you could change the color of the background on your screen. You will see some information here about the navigation cube, which is over here on the right, which we will talk about as well when we start talking about navigation. And I'm not going to get into this, but you have the ability to customize the software any which way you want. You can change the style UI and all the colors of everything in it, as well as the grips and the snaps. On the left-hand side of your screen under display is folders. So this is kind of what I was talking about before. This is where you can tell the software to save all of your projects. What are your default folders? Again, not working for the videos right now, so you won't be able to change that. But if you've saved something and you have no idea where to find it on your computer, because that happens all the time with every software, I never know where I save anything, you can come in here and check to see where your folders are defaulting. We are not really going to worry too much about animation here. This is a lot more for the crash side of things. Russ spoke a lot to this in his class the last 5 weeks. Personally, don't use it a whole lot in crime scene. The most animation I get is my fly through video. So my total viewed video that I create, and that's not necessarily an animation, but that is, these are the settings for recording. And then lastly, your point cloud settings, which we're not really going to talk about now because we're going to speak to that when we start to import our point clouds.